Oh boy, we have a fun video today. So we are going to unbox 3 BiBury multi-tools. These are all under $40 currently, or at least they were when I purchased them. I have already reviewed these two right here, and I have reviewed a similar tool to this one as well. But we're going to put it all together and kind of talk about it in a more general sense. Should you buy a budget multi-tool? Does it make any sense? So let's go ahead and get started. All right, now I have talked about both of these tools in the past, and the reason I didn't have one anymore is because I combined them together to make what I thought was the ideal tool set for this tool. I have a video about that. I will link it down below. So I did want to keep them though because I think that they are good representations of a decent budget tool set, right? This one actually I think was just under $30 at a recent sale. This one was like 35 or so, and this one comes out to about 37. Really good price point for what you're getting, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, okay? Now, why would you want this? Is it something you would necessarily stake your life on? I personally, I would rather have a Swiss tool. That's just me. But there are situations where I'm going to beat up a tool, I could potentially lose a tool, or it could be stolen or taken from me. And those are all situations where I might want to have a backup or a budget item. And it's also possible that I might want to have duplicates in different locations, different bags. And it's so cheap to put these in there with their relatively complete tool set that it's just worth it. That's just what it comes down to. Even if excellent tools exist, and obviously the Surge exists and it's amazing, the fact that these are an option is actually a really good thing, in my opinion. Because at the end of the day, I want people to have access to tools that make them more capable. And I think the base model here is one of my favorites because it doesn't have the replaceable cutters. Yeah, I know that's actually a benefit for me because I'm more interested in plier strength than I am in replaceable cutters. I think I'm more likely to break the pliers doing other things than to need replacement cutters that will, last a very, very long time. And yeah, that's just my personal opinion. Really good tool set. Like I said, I've gone through this before. You have the can opener, bottle opener combo, small flathead, large flathead, scissors, all of which are pretty good. Diamond file with crosscut file. You have the basically same tool set. Serrated blade on one side. You have straight blade on the other. You also have a saw. Now these saws are a little bit more aggressive, a little bit larger teeth than on the Leatherman. And the other thing to mention here is all of these are basically 3CR, 5CR, and the exception being the straight blade. The straight blades are usually a higher grade steel, usually a 7CR, so they have better edge retention. Everything else is pretty much the same, okay? So that's pretty much kind of covering it all. And what I like about this one, which has the hammer isn't what's important to me. There's a couple of things it does really, really well. It's just actually a pretty interesting tool in general. But what I got it for is because it has a outside accessible scissor and a diamond file in the spot that would otherwise be taken up by the serrated blade. Now this of course has that, God, I hate this when they do this, and this definitely needs some tension adjustment. But the partially serrated blade, not my thing. It really isn't. I would have rather that been a straight blade. But other than that, it's got a pretty good tool set. And in addition to what you saw in the other ones, the one thing it doesn't have is the bit driver, and it does have the reamer awl. I probably should have mentioned this when I opened the first one, that the bit driver here is a standard 1/4 inch size. This is actually a huge advantage that it has over the Leatherman with the proprietary bits. About 10 years ago, you could buy those bits in pretty much any store, but what's happened is that they're basically no longer there. Whereas you can get replacement bits using Klein bit drivers, which have the ball detent built in, and those will work just fine. You can use their security bit system. You can use the reversible ones. They can be found in a ton of places, online, you name it. So actually much easier to access bits for these than otherwise. You could always install a magnet, which will let you use standard hex bits as well. I think I've said it before, but it's worth repeating. for sure, because not everyone has seen these before. And yeah, there you go. Now, what is new on the table? This thing right here. So this is exactly the same as the one I reviewed from AliExpress, the DL30. Now I'll put a link to that review as well down in the description. And it really impresses. And I've been keeping track of the comments for that video, because as people get them and play with them and use them, we're going to get a variety of feedback. Oh, it broke here. Oh, it's been holding up well. You know, and actually the opinions so far have been pretty mixed, leaning on the positive side, but still mixed opinions. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. And you can see it's a substantially larger size than the other two, and designed very much to be a Leatherman Surge clone, right? Which it absolutely is. It is lighter than the Surge. A lot of these cutouts make for a little bit lighter setup, and it also has a bit driver, as you can see here, that uses the 1/4 inch size. It's the thing I prefer and I like so much about these tools, is they use that 1/4 inch bit driver. And on the outside you have much larger blades. You also have scissors, and these scissors we've already tested, but we didn't test it with the other one. Let's try it with this one. Beautiful. I'm actually going to test this one since we're at it. Remember, I just opened these, so I'm not 100% sure. Clean cuts, very clean cuts. Not as much of a space to put my thumb here, so it's a little bit difficult to cut out at the very tip. Still quite good. Awesome. And let's just show you a comparison. This is actually another decent scissor, the one that's in here. It's not as good as those, but it's still pretty decent. And I'm using this on Survivor cord. Still pretty good. Not bad. Which has copper wire and 2 other strands I'm forgetting. The nylon, what do you call it? Fishing line. And it also has jute, wax jute in it as well. So very tough stuff to cut cleanly without holding both sides. That's the thing, is that in order to cut these, and also you could see whether the heat treatment is good on the copper. This one does not have any damage, which is good. Do we get any damage here? Nope, not really. That could have been there before. I should have checked. Okay, what about this one? No, it's okay on that one too. The one thing that the Leatherman is always going to have an advantage of over these is the hardness of their steel. 420 HC goes up to 58 HRC. It's going to hold up better in the long run. But these have better geometry. When I tested it, this one against the Surge, it was pretty embarrassing, to be honest. Okay, we could go into this a little bit more. I've already, like I said, made a review on it. What I want to focus on, and why you might want to consider this one over the one on the AliExpress, is that you can get the insurance for this particular model. Now, they're listing it at $80, and you should absolutely not pay $80. For God's sakes, do not pay $80 for this tool, ever. Wait, if needed. But we've been seeing a discount coupon for this model at 50%. So a number of people recently in the last couple of days have told me that that coupon is back and that they're able to buy this tool half off, which brings it to like just under 40, just around 40 bucks. That's a good price for it, and that's the price I would want. I would never, ever pay more than $50 for any of these tools under any circumstances. In fact, I probably wouldn't pay 40 for this. I'm okay with about a 35 for that, 40 for this one. I wouldn't go any higher. Now they do, this one actually especially comes with a bunch of double-sided bits that I actually really, really like in this setup with the Surge clone. It actually has security torques. Really cool. Down to, I think this is a T8 all the way up to T25. Flatheads, hex, and a couple security, this other security bit, and I can never remember what that one's called. But actually really impressive. It also comes with tools to adjust the replaceable cutters. It comes with a spare set of replaceable cutters with shims And on the other side, you're also going to get the saw. It's exactly the same as the one we saw from AliExpress. It has the exact same components. I mean, obviously, it's the same manufacturer. With the insurance, and I'm going to be very clear here, with the insurance, this might be the best $50 purchase that you can make, because what happens is when it breaks in that 3-year period, they give you the refund, and you can then buy it again or buy something else. It has very low risk factor. Right now, I don't know if these other two have that insurance capability. I hope that BiBury will add it. I don't know what the stipulations are to get it added, but it's really important that they do, because I think in all 3 cases, if they have insurance and they can still remain under that $50 price point, I think this would be like $53 with the 4-year insurance or something, then these become very hard to argue with. Very hard. Even the Leatherman with its incredible warranty is going to struggle to compete 1-to-1, because if these get lost, it's a lot less impactful. And when these break, you're going to be able to get a replacement much faster than you would sending it to a Leatherman warranty team, which can take up to like 4 weeks between getting there and getting back. And I guess that brings up another interesting thing. What would you have? What would you use? Would you buy another Surge while one is getting repaired? Probably not. So this is not a bad backup for a Surge. That is not a bad backup for a Leatherman Wave. And I guess we can call this a backup for the Signal, but it's actually kind of completely different. The Signal is significantly thinner and lighter, right? This is 4 layers, so 2 layers, I should say, both sides, with 4 different outer tools. Similar in some ways, but I mean, not exactly. This is actually a completely different thing. There isn't anything in the Leatherman lineup that's quite like this. So, yeah, with the right context, in the right price range, these are some of the best things that you can buy. I don't think they're always the correct answer. I think a lot of times it's better to save your money and get that one tool that's going to work perfectly for you with a good warranty, whether it's a Swiss tool, a Gerber center drive, or like a Leatherman Surge. But there is a space for this. And the fact that we have a decent offering now, I mean, there really wasn't much available like 10 years ago. Now we have really impressive clones that are legally able to be used, which I want to reiterate, the patents for the Surge and the Wave, they're gone. They've been more than 20 years, out. And so this is perfectly legal, perfectly fine, as it should be. And it's good because it means more people will get access to them. I mean, Leatherman is going hard on their free series. I actually don't have a problem personally. Some people don't like it, but for me, it's actually been one of the most carried tools. I don't think it's a problem for these to exist, personally. And this one right now on Amazon with the 50% coupon and with the insurance, now that is a good budget buy, in my opinion. Maybe the best budget buy because of that insurance. Okay. I think that's pretty much all I want to cover. I will put a link to everything down below. Don't buy anything at full price, please. Please don't buy these at full price. Keep an eye on the discount codes. And if I'm able to get them to give me a personal discount code for any of these that will last for a long period of time, I will then also include it in the description and in the pinned comment. All right, as always, thank you guys for your time, and we'll talk again soon.